I would say that Prince Harry has a lot of fences to mend. He's got enough fences to mend, enough fences that would enclose entirely the 20,000-acre estate at Sandringham, which the King owns. And I think from the point of view of Meghan Markle, in her kitchen in Montecito in California, well, she would have to bake a humble pie about as high as a Californian redwood pine tree and eat it. This is an extraordinary state of affairs. Spokespeople for Prince Harry have let it be known that the King has said that his diary is too full at the moment to see his second son. The Prince apparently has accepted this and said he understands his father has other commitments, and he hopes that he will see his father sometime in the future. Well, saying "I'll see you soon" is the sort of thing that you say to people you meet on holiday and then perhaps you don't want to ever see again. So this is an extraordinary state of affairs. So the Prince has flown to London, the city of his birth. It's taken him 11 hours in an aircraft, 5,000 miles from California. And he's staying in London for 2 nights and 3 days. And in all that time, the two men will not be together. This afternoon, when the Prince is at St. Paul's Cathedral, the Cathedral Church of London, for a Thanksgiving service to celebrate 10 years of the Invictus Games, he's there 3.2 miles away at Buckingham Palace. His father, King Charles III, is hosting a garden party for deserving and worthy people from around the country. So it's extraordinary that father and son, having this opportunity in London, cannot find the space and the time to meet. But is it that extraordinary? Perhaps not, because words have power, actions have consequences. And over the last 4 years, the Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have said some very cruel, unkind, and very wounding things about senior members of the royal family, including the King, Queen Camilla, and the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate. And those words have quite clearly gone home. And I think the fact that there will be no meeting between the Prince and his father is an indication of how deep the divide now is in the royal family. I think it's going to be quite some time before there is anything that could be called a rapprochement, a reconciliation within the royal family. That's going to take time because a lot of forgiveness and a lot of apologies are going to be needed to bring them together. Some very unkind and hurtful things have been said, the worst of which was the toxic charge of racism. This was a charge that was made by both Prince Harry and by Meghan Markle, the Duchess, his wife, principally, it seems, against Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, saying that when Meghan Markle, a woman of mixed race from America, became engaged to Prince Harry in 2017 and joined the royal family, she was met with a cold disdain by her soon-to-be sister-in-law, Kate. I think that's a completely bogus charge. And the charge of racism is an egregious one because it's easy to make, but it's hard to refute. You have to prove a negative. You have to prove I am not what you say I am. And that is difficult. It doesn't matter how bogus the charge may be. Some impressionable people may believe that there is an element of truth in it. So for Prince William, this is a very difficult thing. In his book, Spare, a ghost-written autobiography published in January last year, and in another book last year called Endgame, written by a man called Omid Scobie, who is their sort of amanuensis. He's a fan of theirs. These charges were made, and that is a very hard thing for senior members of the royal family to take, because the king is the king of a very diverse country in the United Kingdom. Only 81% of the population in a recent census said they were white British. There's 19% of people who are not white British. And he's also the monarch of 14 overseas realms, and he's the leader, the head of the Commonwealth, which spans the globe and includes people of all different nationalities, creeds, colours, beliefs, ethnicities. And so that charge is particularly wounding and unfair. Meghan hasn't come. She's only been here in Britain 3 times since Prince Harry and his wife, carrying their baby son, Prince Archie, went into self-imposed exile in 2020. First of all, they went to Canada, and then they went down to California, where they now reside. She comes here very rarely, and one authoritative correspondent who does the Buckingham Palace beat said that she hadn't come because she feared she would be booed by people expressing displeasure. Well, that did happen once before, also at St. Paul's Cathedral. She and Harry were going into the cathedral for a service, and there was booing in the crowd. So she has said, Meghan has said, that she's done with Britain. She's done with the United Kingdom, an American expression meaning she's finished with it. And so it's not surprising that she isn't here. But the effect that she isn't here has a more sad effect, because if she's not here, her children aren't here, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And for the king, that is really quite a bitter blow, because he sees very, very little of his grandchildren in California. And he would love to see them. He loves his family. And whenever he's had the opportunity, he's gloried in seeing Prince Archie when he's been here. But it's only happening very rarely, and she hasn't come. However, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, will be meeting Prince Harry later in this week in Nigeria. They are both going to Nigeria. It cannot be called a royal visit. It cannot be called an official visit, but they will be going there at the invitation of the Chief of the Defence Staff and be making a tour. In 2014, he set up the Invictus Games. It's a brilliant initiative, and he deserves all the congratulations in the world. And what it is essentially is a way for people who've been wounded, scarred, impacted by war to come together. Service people from now 22 nations come together, and they compete in sports and other activities. It was his initiative, but the irony of it is that at the beginning, the Prince and Princess of Wales, his older brother William and his sister-in-law Kate, were instrumental in helping him getting it off the ground. They and the Ministry of Defence, the British Ministry of Defence, got behind his idea and made it a reality. And when it was launched in 2014, Prince William was there, the King was there, and Prince Harry enjoyed the full support of his family. Never say never. I think we can say that all families have difficulties from time to time, and they usually resolve them. The King in the past has made it quite clear that he loves his son. He calls him my darling boy. And he's always made clear that his arms are open to him, that his door is open to him. If we think back, Meghan Markle could not have been more warmly welcomed into this country. When she married Prince Harry at St. George's Chapel, Windsor, the Prince of Wales, now King, paid her the ultimate compliment. He offered to walk her down the aisle because her own father, Thomas Markle, was not on speaking terms, not on close terms with her at all, as are most of her family. She is not on speaking terms with most of her family. So the Prince of Wales, as he then was, did that. He didn't have to, but he volunteered and he did it. And the late Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, she went out of her way to make Meghan's mother, Doria, very welcome. And we saw them together talking, and she did everything she could to make the family feel welcome. And when they rode in a carriage through Windsor Great Park, the crowds were 20 deep. The newspapers in this country, who are very rarely united about anything, they all agreed that Meghan was a breath of fresh air, and they all welcomed her. So after that tremendous welcome, which was without reservation at all, it's extraordinary that now Meghan and Harry appear to see themselves as victims rather than people who've caused perhaps unnecessary trouble in the family. But never say never. Reconciliation has to start with a small step. The opportunity was there when Kate, Princess of Wales, made her heartfelt broadcast announcing and revealing that she had cancer. There was an opportunity for Meghan and Harry to send a personal, warm, and heartfelt message to her, but instead they sent a message which was replete with Californian newspeak gobbledygook, talking about the power of healing and so on. It was not specific, and it felt as if it had been written by somebody who writes the mottos inside greetings cards. So that was an opportunity missed. They haven't gone out of their way to try and mend fences. And I would say that Prince Harry has a lot of fences to mend. He's got enough fences to mend, enough fences that would enclose entirely the 20,000-acre estate at Sandringham, which the King owns. That's about, I think, nearly 10,000 hectares. And I think from the point of view of Meghan Markle, in her kitchen in Montecito in California, well, she would have to bake a humble pie about as high as a Californian redwood pine tree and eat it, because there's got to be an accommodation reached, and that will only be reached by people saying, I was wrong, I apologize, let us start again. On Monday, the King will formalize the handing over of the office of Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps to Prince William, Prince of Wales. Now, that was the regiment in which Prince Harry served in Afghanistan. He served as the commander, the man in the front seat of an Apache helicopter, attack helicopter, the man who fired the weapons, who is the commander. Now, he served in that regiment, and he served well his country in Afghanistan. But the honor of being its colonel-in-chief will not go to him. It will go to his brother, because Prince Harry has been stripped of all his military ranks and orders and associations and affiliations. He's just wears his medals now, and even that is controversial, but he is no longer a part of the British military establishment. And that has hurt him quite a lot, because he enjoyed and he relished those roles. But that is an indication, a very clear indication, of how far have fallen the fortunes of the royal family because of this split that has opened up between the Sussexes and the royal family.